So I'm back home now. I was traveling in Berlin for about a month and a half, but I'm back home now, and I'm, just catching up with some old friends I have here. And believe it or not, excuse me, not many people from our high school, from the community here, took an interest in German culture. They weren't interested in the techno scene or electronic music or dancing or anything like that. And so a lot of my friends want to know what happened in Berlin. They're really curious. It's kind of an interesting thing. And they ask me, Owen, what'd you do in Berlin? And I tell them, mostly a lot of Molly and ketamine. So I'm back home now. I was in Berlin for a bit, but I'm back home now. And the thing about my hometown is that it's pretty small. It's only about 14,000 people. And, if I were to go downtown to the local coffee shop or the library, try to get some work done, there's a good chance that I'll run into somebody that I know. And, they'll come up to me and say, Owen, aren't you supposed to be in Berlin? We thought you were going to stay there. And I tell them, no. Had to come back home. Just couldn't get my fill of old New Hampshire. And naturally, they're very curious about, what I got up to in Berlin. They want to know what my travels revealed to me. So they ask me, Owen, what'd you do in Berlin? And I tell them, mostly a lot of Molly and ketamine. So I'm back home now. Came back home from Berlin. I was there for about a month and a half. And I'm picking up some shifts. I'm picking up some shifts at my old job. I used to work at a wine bar. I was a waiter. And yesterday was pretty slow to start. It was a Friday, so got busy later. But to start with, it was pretty slow. There was a nice customer at the bar, just having a glass of wine. And he wanted to know my story, and of course I'm happy to comply, happy to just have a little conversation, get, still on the clock. And I tell him, I just graduated from college back in May. I've got a bachelor's in philosophy now, and I studied a bit of German while I was there. And I just figured, you know what? I'm still young, still got plenty of time to figure things out. I've never traveled outside the country, never ended up in Germany, despite learning a good bit of the language. So, yeah, I'm just going to go to Berlin, see what happens. And he said, oh, Berlin, that's interesting. Is it a big place for tourists? And I told him, one could say that. There's a big techno scene there. Lots of really big clubs, really cool clubs. So he said, wow, that's very interesting. What did you end up doing? And I told him, mostly just a lot of Turkish chicks. Yeah, so just imagine you're in a place like this. You're in a place exactly like this. This tunnel. Everything's covered in graffiti. And, you're just rolling. And the music is just bumping. It's like, oons, 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 oons. And you're just surrounded by a bunch of European women. You're just like, what the fuck is going on? Best time of my life. Best time of my life.